First experiences with Telecasters would have probably been at school watching the Tube. Paul Weller probably playing one. That was when he had entered into the Style Council. It was one of the guitars that I used to draw when I was at school, and sort of and dream of having. Well, you could get a lot of volume on a telly, and it would still be clear, and it had a sort of a twang, and it has that sort of. I mean, it's a guitar sound that I'd heard loads of times on records, but obviously I wouldn't know it was a Telecaster. It has a sort of creak underneath the sound that no other guitars really have. I've no idea how it does it, but it seems to have that a creak and a good clarity. For me in the early days, I sort of either liked quite a sort of scathing trebly sound, which was easy, just bang, or quite a creamy sort of sound like Beatles' Abbey Road, and you could sort of get that by going onto the pickup up here or rolling off a bit of tone. So I just found it simple, indestructible, light, compared to other guitars. You know. My first experience of using one was probably our first recordings we made with Stephen Street, and he'll probably back me up, but he's got a nice telly. It's an old one, really old. And the guitar I was using was a kind of a rock orientated sort of guitar, really. So the telly was doing lots of different sort of jobs, whether the other guitars was a bit more doing one sort of job. So it suited me right down to the ground. So I think when we started recording an album, it might have been, it was probably our first one. It was probably Bits of Leisure. Actually, probably something like There's No Other Way. I think the telly is my first guitar I reach for. I have one at home. I've had the one with the F hole in it. I forgot what that one of those is called now. They have so many different names. But I've sort of tried all sorts of tellies. Then I played that with Pete Doherty when I was on tour with him a lot, because that's the one I'd have at home to write on. So I do admire people like Paul Weller and Wilco Johnson who just have a combo amp pretty cranked, and then they pretty much stick to that sound, and they don't use an awful lot of effects. I think that's skills to do that. You know, I'm a bit more willfully bizarre, I suppose, whilst playing. I'm a bit more less technical and more let's see what happens if I grab the guitar up here and hit this pedal.